Pepsid Complete knows that food is one of the best parts of game day. That is, until heartburn strikes. Thankfully, just one chewable tablet of Pepsid Complete provides dual-action heartburn relief with an antacid that starts working instantly and an acid reducer that lasts all day. So you can stay focused on that second helping of chili without worrying about heartburn. All day based on 8-hour symptom relief studies during the day. Use product only as directed.
Are negative Google reviews hurting your business? Don't let unfair feedback cost you customers. At Webamax, we specialize in removing false, misleading, and damaging reviews so your online reputation stays strong. Our expert team works quickly and legally to clean up your digital presence, helping you rebuild trust. Visit us on the web at www.gowebamax.com. That's GOWEBIMAX.com, or text us for a free quote at 856-840-8343. Don't let bad reviews define you. Get immediate help from Webamax.
Every cup of Nespresso coffee is an invitation to transform your morning routine into a ritual you can treasure each and every day. Using the Virtuo Pup, a simple touch of the button freshly brews bold aromas and a rich, velvety crema layer for delicious cafe-quality coffee at home. Whether you enjoy your coffee hot or over ice, every sip, every morning is unforgettable. Nothing tastes like Nespresso coffee. Visit Nespresso.com or our app to explore our full range of easy-to-use machines and coffees not found anywhere else.
This episode is brought to you by Nerds Gummy Clusters, the sweet treat that always elevates the vibe. With a sweet gummy surrounded with tangy, crunchy nerds, every bite of Nerds Gummy Clusters brings you a whole new world of flavor. Whether it's game night, on the way to a concert, or kicking back with your crew, unleash your senses with Nerds Gummy Clusters.
So good, so good, so good.
Get ready, because it's time to save at your Nordstrom Rack store. Now through February 23rd, take an extra 40% off red tag clearance boots, jackets, and sweaters. We're talking the best cold weather styles from Vince, Cole Haan, Sam Edelman, and more. All on sale for even less. All sales final. You never know what you'll find, but you know it's gonna be so good. Great brands, great prices. That's why you rack.
Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, covering news, notes, and opinions on your Philadelphia Eagles right here on the Eagles Pinpool Podcast Network. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, and the offseason has begun. It is Tuesday. It is February 18th. The Super Bowl is over. The Super Bowl parade and celebration is over. The players are getting their rest and relaxation, but the Eagles' work already begins for 2025. And the chance to repeat as Super Bowl champions. Before we get into it, we're gonna continue doing these shows all off season long, 4 or 5 days a week, trying to cover different things that are happening with the team. But it starts with free agency and what the Eagles need to do. Before we get into it, though, couple quick notes here. Another Eagles assistant coach was interviewed by Kellen Moore this week. On Monday, Jamal Singleton, the running back coach, assistant head coach, has joined now. Doug Nussmeier, having interviewed for the offensive coordinator vacant position with Kellen Moore's new staff in New Orleans. Also, Christian Parker, defensive backs coach, has interviewed for their defensive coordinator role. It seems like Kellen Moore is definitely going to try to poach one or two of our coordinators there. Not only do the Eagles need a new offensive coordinator, they're probably going to need to replace some of these assistants. So it's something to keep in mind. It's something to keep your ear out. I think some of these names, I think Nussmeier is the guy that will probably be poached first. As probably the offensive coordinator there. I think it's also why it's very important for the Eagles to not hesitate and not take too long in naming their next offensive coordinator, whether that's promoting Kevin Petula, whether that's hiring somebody like Frank Reich back into the organization, whoever it may be. It's very important they get that job solidified so that then that offensive coordinator can build out the rest of their staff. So free agency starts in a couple of weeks, and obviously the Eagles have 18, 19 free agents, plus a bunch of contracts that they're going to be looking to renegotiate, cut, post June 1st, et cetera, et cetera. But the big thing starts on the defensive side of the ball, where the majority of the main free agents are. You got Josh Sweat, you got Milton Williams, and you got Zack Baun. There are three big names on defense that are free agents. And can or should or will the Eagles retain any, all, or part of those three names? And I think it all starts with Zack Baun and whether the Eagles can or will retain him. There's an argument to be made that Zack Baun's success this past year in Philadelphia. All-Pro, first team, top 5 defensive player of the year, should have won the defensive player of the year award. Whether it was a product of the system. We've seen this in Philadelphia many times in the past where players come to Philadelphia in free agency and don't fit the system and then have failures. Byron Maxwell won years ago, coming from, Seattle and the Legion of Boom. Zack Baun had great success here under Vic Fangio. The Eagles need to find a way to retain him, but also not break the bank, because I'm not sure whether the market for Zack Baun will price him out of town, like some think. And if you can get Zack Baun to stay here in this defense, especially considering that Nakobe Dean is injured, probably won't be ready for the start of the season. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is not ready to step into a starting role all by himself. Zack Baun has got to be priority number 1 with this Eagles defense. Milton Williams, while Milton Williams is a great young player, he's going to get paid whether from us or somebody else. The Eagles have done a great job developing defensive linemen, defensive tackles over the years. And I got a stat for you here. I saw this online. Defensive line pass rush win rate this past year based off of snap count, like snap percentage, not amounts, just the percentage of snaps played. Chris Jones from Kansas City, obviously, number 1, 18.8% rush win rate, pass rush win rate. You know who was number 2? Moro Ojomo at 18.2%. Now, a small sample size, but it just goes to show that the Eagles have had great success developing young guys. We let Javon Hargrave go. Milton Williams stepped up in the last 2 years. Now we can let Milton Williams go. Moro Ojomo can step up. They could draft another guy. You can have Clint Hurt, if he does not leave to take another job somewhere else, step up and develop another set of young defensive linemen. The priority has to be Zack Baun, because we've struggled with that linebacker position over the years, and a lot has to go into what does Vic Fangio want, and he needs that linebacker like Zack Baun to have his defense succeed. It also goes into the conversation, which we'll have a few times this offseason, about the cornerback situation. A lot of people think that we're going to move on from Darius Slay and slide Cooper DeJean to the outside, which is what he did in college. But Cooper DeJean in the slot fits exactly what Vic Fangio needs once in that position. So I think a lot of the questions this offseason need to be answered, not necessarily do you pay this guy or not pay this guy. You have to ask yourself, is this guy what guy's most important for Vic Fangio to continue the success that led us to have one of the greatest defenses, in Eagles history, me saying the greatest of all time. You also have Josh Sweat on the defense, a big name that is a free agent as well. And I'm okay letting Josh Sweat go. I know Josh Sweat had a huge Super Bowl, arguably could have gotten the MVP of the Super Bowl. But is Josh Sweat really worth the money he's going to command? Defensive end, edge rusher is always one of the highest paid positions in the NFL during free agency. It's a weak free agent class on the outside, on the edge. The Eagles have Nolan Smith. The Eagles have Jalen Hunt. They still technically have Bryce Huff. We'll see what they do with Bryce Huff. But Josh Sweat is going to get 15, 18. But what did Bryce Huff get? $51 million over 3 years? Josh Sweat's going to exceed that contract this offseason. Is Josh Sweat really that good? He had 8.5 sacks this past year. Is he really worth $60 million? And I don't think so. He's a little streaky. He's a little inconsistent. He's getting up there in age. He's 27, 28 years old. I think the Eagles can very easily walk away from Josh Sweat and replace his production pretty easily. The question is, can they replace Zack Baun? Can they replace Milton Williams? I think they can. We'll get into the offensive free agent and the number 1 on the list, Mekhi Becton, tomorrow, and why I think they should keep him. But you got to prioritize Zack Baun, whatever it takes. And, I've bounced the number around 3 years, $28 million with like $16 million guaranteed. If that's your offer and he comes back and signs somewhere else for $38 million or $40 million, all right, it's okay to let Zack Baun go at that point. But Howie Roseman has evolved his philosophy. He's evolved it with the running back. He's evolved it, with his drafting of bigger names from bigger schools. If it's a difference between $28 and $31 million, you just pony up and find that extra $3 million. Keep Zack Baun happy and keep this Eagles defense in an elite position. That's got to be the priority, not Oren Burks. You can't expect Oren Burks to do what he did, in that 2-game sample size filling in for Nakobe Dean all year next year. You've got also Brandon Graham you got to figure out. Ben Van Summeren's a free agent. Would love to retain him. offensively and defensively. Avonte Maddox, Isaiah Rodgers is a restricted free agent. So there are other names on the defensive side. And obviously we'll talk about Darius Slay later this week and what to do with his, contract situation. But you have to, as Howie Roseman, heavily prioritize the retaining of Zack Baun, not at any cost, but as your number one priority to get this offseason off on the right track. Guys, this is the Eagles Checkdown. You want to talk about this in more detail, check out Trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network. I've got it linked below. We're going to be talking this stuff all week long, along with Phillies, Sixers, and other stuff as well. Check it out. Subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it, guys. This is the Eagles Checkdown right here on the Eagles Pinpool Podcast Network, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is. Go Birds. Bubbles up.
We off? 30 seconds of carefree bliss. Oof, like wind in your hair carefree. Oh, like using Clorox Disinfecting All-Purpose Cleaner in the home carefree. Yes! Like dog slobbing on the coffee table and cleaning it with Clorox Carefree? He's on a roll now. Spit toothpaste on the faucet. You got it. You got it. Peanut butter on the light switch. Oh, spritz, spritz. Spritz, spritz. Clorox, man. Clean feels good. Okay, we're back. Use as directed.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Meet Factor, your loophole in the laws of mealtime. Chef-crafted meals delivered with a tap, ready in just 2 minutes. You know what's even smarter? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Factor is dietitian approved, chef prepared, and you plated. Pretty smart, huh? Refresh your routine and eat smart with Factor. Learn more at factormeals.com.
More rewards, more savings. With American Express Business Gold, earn up to $395 back in annual statement credits on eligible purchases at select shipping, food delivery, and retail subscription merchants, including the $155 Walmart Plus monthly membership credit and $240 flexible business credit. Enjoy the benefits of membership with the Amex Business Gold Card. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card. Built for business by American Express.
This episode is brought to you by Atlassian. Atlassian makes the team collaboration software that powers enterprise businesses around the world, including over 80% of the Fortune 500. With Atlassian's AI-powered software like Jira, Confluence, and Loom, you'll have more time to do the work that matters. In fact, Atlassian customers experience a 25% reduction in project duration per year. Unleash the potential of your team at Atlassian.com. Atlassian.